Well, it's beginning to look like it's going to be my month for catching darters. Fortunately, I don't have to catch too many of these guys because, as you saw in the last video, they are extremely difficult to get. But look what I've got. He's a big, powerful bird, and as you can see, he has a dreadful piece of stocking hanging right over his face, and he's been unable to eat because he's been swimming around in the water like this for at least 2 days that I know of. In fact, 3 days, because it's taken me 3 days to catch him. He has no hope at all of getting it off, and he would have starved to death very quickly. But after a monumental effort, I've managed to catch him, and because the vision that I shot removing that fluff from the last darter was so poor, I'm going to show you how to remove it from this one here, and hopefully not get bitten in the process. Come on. There you go. You just sit down there and be good. Oh, no, look at that. Stop it. Just relax. I'm going to wrap him up in a towel. Okay, that's better. Come on, just want your head out. Nothing more than your head, please. Sit down there and be good. Okay. Alright. Now you can see this, the stocking very clearly is right around the serrations on the end of this bird's beak, and it's those serrations that prevent him from getting it off. He has no hope at all. And as with the last darter that I caught, which was about 3 weeks ago now, this creature would have starved to death, probably had a couple more days left in him at best, and that would be it, and then it would have been all over. So we'll get that off now. Look at that. It took so little effort for me to remove that, and yet this poor little chap, he would have had no hope on his own. It's all stuck in these serrations on the end here, and it's the serrations that make these stockings. They're almost made for them. They hang on so perfectly. Alright, that's starting to come. Okay, so that's off the top beak. And you can see how razor sharp this beak is. He uses that for stabbing fish, and he's got all of these serrations back here, very like the barb on a stingray. In fact, it's almost identical. Stingray barb, once it goes in, doesn't come out. You've got to push them out, either cut them out surgically or push them through to get them out, because you can't reverse them out. It's just not possible. I'm going to be careful. As soon as this comes off, he's going to be into meat straight away. So I don't really want to get bitten or stabbed, because that would be most unpleasant. The last little bit, it just hangs on so tight. That's it. Got him. Alright. Alright, now you're free. Okay, now you're free of all that. That's better, eh? Now I'm going to take this bird to hospital. He's been without food for a little bit too long. I just want to have him checked, but more than anything I want to have him force-fed for a day or two to put on a little bit of weight and muscle, and then I'm hoping in a day or two he can come straight back here to the lake where I've just caught him. But that's a great success. So I'm going to put him in the capture box, and he's on his way to hospital, and hopefully he'll be back here in 2 days' time. Today I'm back at the lake where our little friend lives, and after a few days in hospital, plenty of good food and some rest and rehab, the darter is ready to go. So I'm going to do a soft release straight out of the box, much more comfortable for the bird, and I'll film it, and hopefully it will hang around and give us a little look before it actually takes to the air, it may fly straight off or it may dive straight under the water, in which case we'll lose it for at least 5 minutes. But either way, I'm very excited to have her back. Hello, you ready to go? All right, let's get you out of there. Well, that went very well. She's dived under the water, and I suspect that's the last we'll see of our bird for quite some time. But obviously didn't fly away, so very comfortable being released in the lake, and that's ideal. That's just what we want. So this is her own lake, this is where she lives, this is the territory she knows, and an all-round good result. So just when it looked like everything was back to normal, I can see that a monumental fight is taking place down the front here on the lake. And I'm reminded that this is wildlife we're dealing with. Our data had owned this lake, this small lake, and another bird has come in the 3 days that our creature has been in hospital and has tried to take over. And they've just discovered each other. At first I thought our bird had caught a fish, but it wasn't. He'd caught another darter and they're having a huge battle out there in the lake. Now, if necessary, they'll fight to the death, but it probably won't come to that. One will win and one will lose. And so we're just going to have to wait on the outcome. Well, that's a great relief. It looks like our bird has triumphed. And I can't see the other creature at all. That's under the water somewhere. It'll surface later and it will fly off and probably go to the lake that's immediately adjacent. But our bird is now making its way towards the platform where I originally caught it, and it will get out of the water any minute now and take up its position and claim its dominance of the lake. So the cycle is complete.